Revision 3, new backgrounds. We call it, this is a dub, this is a dub, this is a dub, this is a dub.
Once again, guys, this is Investor Show. As always, this is your host, Prince Dice, coming to you guys live all the way from Japan this time. I know usually, you guys probably gotten used to me saying on the past podcast that, I'm out in beautiful Hawaii, but it's not a beautiful Friday here in Japan, but it's beautiful in its own little way. It's a little nippy, Yes, I have to have a hoodie on and all the other good stuff. Not like I used to be able to have it. But anyway, like I said, always, it's never about where you are. It's always about what's on the inside of you. But so I brought a little Hawaii to Japan while I'm here. So anyway, as you guys can already see in the description, now you guys can already see in the title, we have, we're doing Invest in Your Health. We got Dr. Linell King. He is back. But as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys don't have a lot of time. So we're going to jump straight into it. We have Dr. King here. He's on the line today. We brought him back, and as crazy as it seems, some people say, well, this is the Investor Show. Usually it's about money and this and that or whatever. But you got to look at yourself. Yourself is your greatest asset. Your health is your greatest asset that you have. If you haven't heard Dr. King's first episode, I suggest you stroll down or go on the YouTube channel or wherever you can get it from, wherever you get your podcast from, iTunes or whatnot, and go back and hear his first episode. He had one of the most downloaded episodes of all of my episodes, until recently, some new topics came along and took him off, but he's still up there. I think it's like the number 2 or number 3 most downloaded episode. So, Dr. King, in case you guys didn't know or don't know who he is, he's been all the way from ABC, he's been on Fox, he's NBC, he has, he's a physician, best-selling author, mastering his vitality. And the cool part about him, I don't want to go through his whole resume, I let him do that. But the cool part about him that I liked when I met him in Miami was, it was already cool that he was a physician, right? But one of the things that took over the top with me that when he told me about the entrepreneurship side, building his own practices and then selling his practices, for the largest amount of money. I had never heard that in my world. I thought, hey, you go to school, you become a doctor, you earn a nice, good salary, and, that'll be pretty much it. But I know we have people that are, who tune into this podcast or in school, becoming doctors and stuff like that. So it's a lot of good things you can hear from Dr. King. And one of the key things that he said, he spent his beginning of his career putting people on medicine, and now he's taking his own initiative and going around the world and doing all the great things that he's doing to take people off of medicine. But I don't want to sit here and go on and on. Without further ado, guys, give a loud round of applause for Mr. Dr. Linell King. How you doing, Mr. King?
Hey, I'm doing just fantastic. I had to come back on the show, especially since other people have knocked me off like the most downloaded. I had to get back on and get my title back.
Get your title. Yeah, definitely. You had the most downloaded episode. I was like, wow. I was like, invest into your health. That was a pretty downloaded, and got some great feedback and comments, and we gave away a couple copies of your book, and people responded to it and all the great stuff. So that's a pretty good episode. So,
yeah, fantastic. And I'm joking around just a little bit. Most of me serious, but I really want to give props to the people who downloaded it, because it goes to show you that people are interested in their health, and people do realize that without your health, what do you have? So I really want to commend everyone that's tuning into this show, downloading this show and the past show, because that's, without that, then, there's nothing. Most people are solo entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. So you are your business. And we talk about branding. We talk about investing. If someone's going to invest in you, they're investing in you. And so you are the first piece of your brand. And so if you're not vital, if you're not vibrant, if you're all sluggish and low energy and out of shape, well, man, they're going to look at you and say, well, what does this say about the business? So it's crucial that you stand as your brand. That's the first thing. Second thing is, you can make all the money in the world, but if you have to, spend it to get your health back, that's not a way that you want your money to go. One statistic that shocked me when I heard it is that in the 1980s, 8% of all bankruptcies were due to medical bills. 8%. Now that number has risen to over 60-something%. I think it's over 61% of all bankruptcies are due to medical bills. I mean, think about that. And the crazy thing is, out of the people who went bankrupt because of medical bills, 73% of those people had insurance.
Wow, that's crazy. That shows you how vital your health is. Even though your health doesn't show up on the balance sheet, it doesn't show up on your assets and liabilities. When you read all these great books and you go to all these great seminars and you tune into all these different shows and see all these great people, one of the things that is really never discussed is yourself and how vital and how much money you can save by fixing your health. Yeah. So when we go into it, this is 2017, a new year, and you always see the people, new year, new me, new diet, New Year's resolutions, the gyms are packed, things like that. Hey, I got a diet now. I'm on the T diet. I'm on the this diet, and you tune in. I got the 5-minute abs, the 5-minute butt, the 5-minute thighs, the 5-minute arms, and all
and
that.
It all lasts for 5 minutes.
So, what do you have to say to that, to the people that's out there, who's trying to? Hey, I know people who said, hey, I'm tuning into the podcast now. The podcast has grown. The whole brand has grown. The Investor Channel, the Investor Show, and it's people that say, "Hey, man, it's a new year. I want to listen to more positive things, and stuff like that." What would you have to say to them? Who's starting out who got that little path? How would they keep that momentum going?
Yeah. So first of all, I am all for setting a new trajectory for the new year. I'm all about it. However, using the new year as motivation, you have to realize that the new year only comes around once a year. And typically studies show that it takes about 3 weeks for any and all of the resolutions to fall by the wayside. It is a burst of motivation that we get. And so you have to have something that is going to continue that motivation. And the only thing that will do that is having a big enough reason why. And just because it's a new year, just because it's January, is not a big enough reason, because January is 1 out of 12 months in the year. So you have to ask yourself and analyze, why? Why do I need to do this? Why do I need to get down to my ideal body weight? Why do I need to regain my health? Why do I need to be the best version of me possible? Why do I need to double my energy level? What is that going to do for me? What is that going to do for my business? What is it going to do for my family? What is that going to do for my kids? What is that going to do for my loved ones? And really feel that emotional pull. Because when you feel that, when you think about the pain that it's going to cause your child when they have to take care of you, or worse yet, you're not around anymore. When you tie into that type of emotional leverage, that's going to keep you going through the year rather than just in January.
That's a very good point you made, finding that deep connection, right? Now, by me following you and seeing the things that you're doing and you're going around and stuff like that, I've seen you coin a phrase and you talk about, you just say, dieting doesn't work. And I see people that say, hey, you got these food diets, you have all these type of products out there. What do you mean by dieting just doesn't work?
Well, there's 3 mistakes that I find that people make, okay? 3 mistakes. The first thing is they try to exercise the weight off. I have seen so many out of shape, overweight people in the gym, especially in January, trying to work the weight off. It does not work. Stop it, okay? Now, I'm not saying don't exercise. I'm not saying that because there's a lot of studies that show that exercise extends life, and it does a lot of things for strength, mobility, everything like that. It's just a horrible weight loss tactic. The reason is because you cannot outwork the fork, okay? If you think about how many calories you burn, right, how long does it take to burn 1,000 calories? Probably about 2 hours, depending on what you're doing and how aggressive you are. But probably about 2 hours. How long does it take to eat 1,000 calories? Probably about 5 minutes. Right?
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no comparison. And so what happens is you work out. Your body's not used to all that weight. The body is not equipped to do CrossFit and all of these, boot camps and everything like that you're trying to do because you used to be able to do something when you were younger. Your body's not able to do that with the excess weight. And so then you're putting yourself at risk for injury. If you injure yourself, now you're even more sedentary. And then you just give up. The other thing, what happens is you work out, you bust your butt, and you're consistent, right? It's the second week in January. You've been hitting it, right? 3-4 times a week in the gym. And then what's the thought process? Oh, well, I deserve a treat. I deserve to be able to eat what I want. I've been working out. And then you end up ingesting more calories than you burn, and then the scale doesn't move. You still feel like crap even though you've been working out. And now you get discouraged. And then you say, I've tried what? Everything. I've tried everything. Nothing's working. So that's the first mistake, is people trying to exercise the weight off. All of my clients, if you have more than 60 pounds to lose, all my clients that have more than 60 pounds to lose, the very first thing I do, I tell them, listen, we are not focusing on exercise. We are going to get the first 40 pounds off without exercise. Once we get that 40 pounds off, which should take about 3-4 months, once we do that, then we'll gradually start a program, an exercise program. But until then, it's all about just fun aerobic activity, just movement, getting your steps in. But, we stay out the gym. And so many people are shocked, like, well, man, if I don't work out, how am I going to lose weight? Well, that brings me to my next mistake that people make. And the number 2 mistake is they try to do it on their own. If you think about all of the major players in the financial industry, what do they all have? They all have consultants. They all have analysts. They all have lawyers. They all have accountants. They have experts showing them exactly what they need to do. They're not trying to do it themselves. But when it comes to mastering our health, when it comes to mastering our vitality, what's the first thing we do? Oh, I know what to do. I just got to eat less and work out more.
That's
right?
very true.
And
you know what?
I should be able to do that myself.
This tags into I did an internship was it last year at Guardian Financial Wealth Management up in Austin, Texas, and the owner there, Brian Winterrose, said, "What you learn after you know everything is what counts."
I love it.
And that ties into what you said. When you say, "Oh, I know everything. I got it. All I got to do is just pick up this and do that, and whatever. I'm good at this." And then it's like, what you learn after that, once you think you know everything, that's when it really starts to count. And you're right.
True.
I know that for a prime example, I have writers and producers and people that surround me, because I know I don't know everything. I know that I know some things. I know, hey, this is my weak area, so guess what? I need to find someone who's strong in my weak areas and bring them onto my team. It's kind of crazy. It's funny that you said it, because I think the psychological piece is you kind of think like, man, I'm 30 now. I weigh more now than I did at 25. What did I do different? Well, when I was 25, I used to swim a lot and do this and do that. So you automatically think that you know the answer.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And the fact is, our biochemistry is different. Our lifestyle is different. The food that we're eating is different. All of that is different than, when we were younger. Like right now, I'm the exact same weight as I was when I was 19 years old. Exact same weight. But I was 30 pounds heavier. I had gotten up to like 205. I had back pain, sluggish. And, I would go on diets, the yo-yo diets, and get down to like 190, then go back up, then go back down. I tried the HCG diet, the cayenne pepper and maple syrup, whatever that was diet, the Atkins, I did them all, right? And they would work while I was doing them. But then once you reach your goal, then you're like, all right, well, I don't have to do this anymore. You start eating chicken wings and all that kind of stuff, and then boom, it comes right back. So it wasn't until I realized that it really was all about who I was being. Who did I want to become? And what type of lifestyle did I want to live is when I stopped dieting and I stopped trying to lose weight, and I gravitated towards my ideal body weight, and then boom, it hit. And I don't have to get on the scale anymore. Every once in a while I get on just curious to see what it is, and it's boom, it's either 182 or it's 185 or anything in between, and I never even have to think about it. So that's the third and the largest mistake, the most detrimental mistake that people make is they rely on dieting. Because dieting, the reason to get to this is a long way to get to the answer to your question, but the reason why dieting is so detrimental is because it is a temporary strategy that gives you temporary results. And when you lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, that wrecks your metabolism. It wrecks it. And when you gain fat back, you're gaining the most dangerous fat that you can gain, and that's visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat surrounding your organs. It's harder to get rid of, and your organs suffer. It puts you at risk for diabetes, metabolic syndrome, slows your metabolism down, and it throws your hormone balance off. So that's the worst thing that you can do.
Okay. Now, when you look at this stuff of you made a good point, and it kind of makes you think of the word power. Like not the word power, but electricity. I remember when we was young. Your mom be like, "Oh, turn the light off. You're not using that light. You're gonna burn up all my electricity." And until I was going to school, and I started to learn that you burn the most power when you switch the light on and off, on and off, on and off. Versus, you probably would have been better off if you just had left the light on. Versus all of the turn the light on, turn the light off. And it kind of reminds me of, what you reiterating on what you were saying about when you go into your diet, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. And, what you were saying earlier. Oh, that's true. You think that, hey, I want to save gas, so you're running low on gas, so you think that every stoplight you're going to just turn the car off and turn it back on. It's like that's the point where you actually burn the most gas. So looking at this and going forward, like you said, you made it, and that was a pretty smart point too. I haven't heard that one. A lot of people say, hey, January 1st, I'm going to get into the gym. I'm going to start killing it. Not realizing that they know they haven't been working out for the last year or 2 or 3 or whatever. And they get in there and they're very injury prone. Then week 2, they got a shoulder injury and they can't go like they used to. Then they're taking pain medication for their shoulder injury. And next thing you know, they're out of it, because their body's not used to it, So if coming into January, if I say, hey, my thing is to lose this much weight, and you say, hey, we're not even going to touch the gym for 4 months. So you're iterating that the first thing you need to do is change your eating plan, right?
Yes, absolutely. You need to change your eating plan.
How can somebody do that, I don't know what's the,
Yeah. So this is the thing. The whole philosophy around dieting is restriction. Everything is restriction. Even when I worked in the hospital, a heart patient, you restrict salt, a diabetic, they restrict sugar. Someone who's obese, you restrict calories. It's all about restriction. Well, that is a faulty plan. Instead of focusing on restriction, you want to focus on food and nutrients. And so you want to eat with purpose. That alone is a game changer. Because if you eat with purpose, because think about it, to make your car go faster, right? If you have a Lamborghini or just a sports car, any sports car, it doesn't even have to be a Lamborghini, and you want it to perform, high performance. Everybody on this that's listening to this is a high performer, or at least they, should be a high performer, right? That's their desire. So you don't pile a bunch of fuel in a car to make it go faster or perform better. And you definitely don't restrict fuel. What is it that you do when you're looking to get a car to be a high performer? You look for the right fuel.
That's true.
You look for the right fuel. You don't just go to any 7-Eleven and put unleaded gas in your car.
That's true.
Right? You don't just put a quarter tank to make it lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I want my car to go fast, so let me just put a quarter tank, because then it'll be lighter. They'll go fast. Well, the same is true with our bodies. Forget about the amounts. Forget about restricting calories. Forget about that. That is the diet mentality. What you want to do is you want to be in search of high-octane fuel and fuel your body with that. So what do I mean by that? What is that? So if you think about the foods that have been put on this earth for us to fuel our bodies with, to heal our bodies with, it is plant-based. And so as many live plants that you can eat, the better. So that's number one. The closer you can get to nature, the better. And so if you eat purposefully, where you're not eating the junk and the stuff that you can't even pronounce. If you look at a label, you can't pronounce anything on that label. It's junk. It's like taking your BMW to the gas station. It's got a bunch of sugar in the gas. The car doesn't know what to do with that. Okay? Well, if you take, if you go to a fast food restaurant, or if you go to the grocery store and you have a chemistry lab full of ingredients in your food, your body doesn't know what to do with that. And so that's going to destroy you rather than fuel you. But if you're eating live, whole, plant-based stuff, then now you're fueling your body. And you can eat as much of that as you want to. You don't have to focus on restricting yourself. Now, I'm not saying you can't eat meat. I'm not saying you can't eat processed food. I'm not saying you can't eat dairy. All I'm saying is you want to eat purposefully to fuel and heal your body, and those things aren't going to get the job done. That's all I'm saying.
It's a good start. You say, hey, some people are like, oh, eat one apple, then one peach, then drink this much water, blah, blah. You made a pretty good valid point. You say, hey, you know what? Get the closest to nature as you can.
That's
so you're in the store. Yeah, that makes it simple, like me today as I'm walking down, I'm like, I don't know. Should I eat this or that? Hey, get the close to nature as you can. That kind of makes it simple. That's a very good point,
Right. And the other thing is eat often, eating every 2 to 3 hours, because your body it needs fuel like all hours of the day. And so if you eat a huge heavy meal at night right before going to bed, your body doesn't need it. And so what's it going to do? It's going to store it because it doesn't need it. Your body's extremely efficient. It's not going to waste calories. It's going to save it. The way that it saves calories is it saves it by fat. Fat is a wonderful thing. It protects you against famine. The problem is we don't have famine anymore.
That's true. That's true.
Your body's waiting for that famine to come, and it never comes, right? And so
exactly.
And so you want to have your biggest meal after your most activity. So if if you're running around all day, or the reason why they say breakfast is the most important part of the day is because it's usually right when you're the most active. You're usually most active in the morning after breakfast. And so being that breakfast or lunch being your largest meal of the day is beneficial. But the way that our society is now, where usually most people, especially entrepreneurs, we're not moving that much, and we're sitting in front of a computer, and the most calories that we're burning or requiring is from our brain activity. And so what you want to do is, and that's happening all day long, so you want to spread your meals out. You want to have small meals, or snacks 2 to 3 times, every 2 to 3 hours. And what that does is it balances your blood sugar. It balances your insulin levels, so you're not getting these spikes and valleys, and that tells the body to burn fat. It turns your body into a fat-burning machine rather than a fat-storing machine. So even if, studies have shown this is not just opinion, studies have shown this, even if you eat the exact same thing that you eat every day, the exact same calories, but you spread it out and just change the timing, you'll lose weight just by doing that. But if you're going to put that much attention...
Say it again.
Yep. If you eat the same things, right? The same things. Don't change a thing as far as what you eat. Don't change a thing as far as the amount you eat in a 24-hour period. If nothing else, if you don't change anything else but the timing of when you eat it, you will lose weight if you do it properly.
Now, what's the disadvantage to that? How many people they can remember, I used to eat it, I'm going to shift to 8 o'clock, I'm going to shift to 9. Well, but what causes that, though? What causes that?
Well, it's really basic. I mean, it's really simple. Again, the body can only burn so many calories at one time. And so say you eat 5,000 calories in a day. Well, if you spread those out throughout the day and say, you spread it out into, you're eating 10. Say you eat 10 500-calorie meals, right? Think about that. 10 500-calorie meals, and then you end up eating 5,000 calories. Now imagine doing that versus eating 2 meals, and each meal you're eating 2,500 calories. So if you stuff 2,500 calories in your body at one time, what is your body going to do with the excess calories?
Store it for famine.
Exactly. Because it can't burn it.
Man, you're a good teacher because I'm a slow guy and I done caught on to it. So makes you look at my meals differently now.
And so you eat 2,500 at one time. Your body says, okay, thank you for all this, but we can only burn, 500 calories of this. The rest we have to store.
Mm-hmm.
So then you go the rest of the day and you don't eat anything. Now the body is like, wait a minute, there's no food. We need to, do something here. Now they go into like, all right, we're in starvation mode. And so now when you give it another 2,500 calories, it says, man, we don't know when the next time this guy's going to eat. So let me go ahead and store some more. And then usually you've been working all day, it's late, you get ready to go to bed, and then you eat all that food. So now you go lay down, your body says, well, we definitely don't need it now. We're going into hibernation mode. So we just need to store all this for later.
Got it.
You see?
Got it, okay.
So that's still 5,000 calories. You still ate the same thing. Now, I don't recommend eating 5,000 calories, and I don't recommend, eating just the same thing. You want to upgrade everything. But I'm just making this point to show you, because people don't realize this. You don't realize that a calorie doesn't equal a calorie. Like all calories are not created equal. It depends on, it depends on what that calorie is, and it depends on when are you eating it and how are you spreading it out. So huge. So imagine combining knowing exactly the right times to eat, combining that with eating foods that are just going to rev up and speed up your metabolism and lower the blood sugar spikes. Imagine combining that and then combining high nutrient foods that are going to give your body all the building blocks to heal itself, to decrease inflammation, to detoxify itself. When you combine those three things, weight loss becomes simple. It becomes easy. It's just easy. And that's why, clients that work with me is like, man, I didn't realize it could be so easy. I'm like, yeah, you were just making it difficult.
Wow. Now that we spoke about, getting to your health and some dieting, giving away those key indicators and points of, simple ways and simple steps you can do to lose the weight and stuff like that. Now I want to get a little bit more into actual Dr. Linell King. I know you kind of hit on this the last time you was here, but I kind of wanted to ask you the question, going back and growing up in the South and being a son, then turning into a student, and then becoming a physician and being a physician for, your career, and now turned into the entrepreneur. Well, you turned into the entrepreneur prior, but being an entrepreneur, then the entrepreneur, then also the author, the best-selling author, by the way, and do your own events and stuff like that, and being a father, all these things. Looking back over your life, because someone who may be listening to this, who may just say, "Man, wow, that guy's pretty awesome," I want to fall down that path or whatnot. What advice, or what is something that you would probably say, "Man, you know what? I want to make that move. Maybe I would have done something a little bit different," or maybe some red flags, just some sound advice, since you've been there, done that.
Man, you just named a whole lot of things. My advice on how to be a great father is a whole lot different than how to be a great entrepreneur, or how to be a great son. But I guess if I had to really come up with a common denominator for everything, no matter what your goal is, you just really have to be in tune with why you're doing it. I was very in tune with why I wanted to be a doctor. I was very in tune with why I wanted to be close and influential in my daughter and my son's life, because that's my parents were instrumental in me coming up. I am the way that I am because of my father, not just because of what he taught me, but because of what he showed me. And that is so important, because you can talk all day long, but your kids, or not even the kids, but the people that you influence in life, you can talk all day long, that's great, but they pay more attention to what you show them. What are you doing? Not what are you saying. What are you doing? And that comes when you know why you're doing it.
Okay. Because, and I know it was a multi-level question, being the father, the entrepreneur, the physician, the son. But the thing was, some people, they sit back and they listen to people and they say, "Man, that guy is where I want to be, and I'm going down that path." And, like you said, the common denominator, the things you see that happen around you, the things that you go over. There's some things so far in life that I look back and say, "Oh, I want to make that move." And sometimes I see people step right into that same hole. But it was just something I can look back and tell myself. But, that's, being someone that's accomplished as much as you accomplished and done as much as you've done, the common denominators and the keys to success. So another thing
the other thing that I would recommend, the other thing that is crucial is you got to get help. There is enough information on the internet that there is no need to go to medical school. You can get it all on the internet. But no one does it. Why? Because you have to have someone guide you. You can't just, try to get everything for free off the internet. There's just too much information. There's too much conflicting information. You don't have any guidance. You need mentors. You need teachers. You need somebody that can steer you away from the costly, time-consuming mistakes that you make trying to learn things on your own. So whatever you do, whatever you want to do, whether it is improve your health, whether it is, become a successful entrepreneur, whether it's whatever it is, even a good father, find a role model, find a mentor. Don't try to do it on your own.
Okay, always seek the God in life.
Yes.
Now, on a regular day when you're not doing your Facebook lives, when you're not doing your everyday thing, you're not being a father, what is it that Dr. Linell King like to do as hobbies?
Oh, I love dancing. Love dancing. I love.
So you're like a salsa. Don't tell me you out there twerking and then like that.
Yeah. Hey, I if I can get away with it, I'm gonna do it. But no, I love Latin dance. I love hip hop. I love that. I love traveling, experiencing new foods, experiencing new cultures, and I love watching people. I'm kind of like a behavioral specialist. I love to see why people do the things that they do, and that brings me great entertainment. And so I people watch a lot, and so those are some of the hobbies that I have.
When you say you people watch, how do you people watch? You just like go to the mall and just sit on the bench and just watch people? Or do you just like TV? Oh, okay. Yep. Oh, wow.
No, not TV. TV's manufactured. You don't learn anything about behavior from TV. If you want to learn about behavior from TV, just look at all the commercials, because the advertisers they probably know more about human behavior than anyone on this earth. So they've figured it out. So if you watch commercials and see how they relate to people and see how they interact with people, that will tell you a lot about what motivates people. But as far as really observing behaviors, just going to the grocery store, going to the mall, going to the park, when I'm out at a restaurant, I'm just constantly observing people, see how they interact with their families, their kids, see how they interact with the staff. It's just you learn so much from watching people's interactions.
Okay. And when we say TV is manufactured, how do you say that? I kind of know what you're saying about it.
There's only one purpose. There's only one purpose of television, and that's to sell you stuff. That's it. Whether it's sell you an idea, whether it's sell you a product, whether it's sell you a service, the only purpose in television is to sell you something. The only reason why television shows exist or televised football games exist is to push advertisement. That's the only reason. That's why it's all about eyeballs. Who can get the most viewerships? Who has the best ratings, because they can sell their advertising space, airtime at a premium the more people that they have watching. So they create television shows to get the people to watch them so that they can sell them stuff.
Wow, he's right. That's pretty much TV when you look at it. Now, do you believe with 2017 and the future we're going, do you believe TV is dying off or will die?
I don't think television will ever necessarily die off. It will evolve. It is evolving. Now a lot of the quote-unquote stars are YouTube stars, social media stars. And people like, Ellen, they get their guests from the internet. They look at what's trending on the internet and they bring them on their show. And so I think that it's never going to die. Having a big screen in front of your face and sitting down and stuffing your face with hot wings and drinking beer, that ain't never going away, unfortunately.
That's a very good.
So,
and because I just like you said,
television's here to stay.
Yeah, I kind of think like television is kind of moving to the mobile device now. I think people watch the phones more than they watch the actual TV now.
Well,
And
no, that's true. There's no question about that. The amount of time that people spend on their phones versus television, I mean, there's no comparison. It's all mobile. Yeah, and so that's and you get and it's more real. Even though you think about social media and everything, that's still all about entertainment. But the whole reason why it's so popular is because people realize that, you know what, this is more real than television because a lot of it's not scripted. You're able to kind of be a voyeur and look into people's lives and things of that nature. And so that's why social media is so popular. It's the same reason why reality TV is so popular. We know anytime you're in front of the camera or you're portraying yourself, it's not completely 100% true and honest, but it's not manufactured like television shows.
Okay. Makes sense. People like to look into and I think is, things get you on demand now. Everybody's like, hey, I want it now. YouTube University can get you can watch it and watch it from anywhere, and it's right there in your hand. You can take it with you anywhere, and you don't have to worry about, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is coming on this particular channel.
Right.
And, nowadays, people like, due to the Netflix and the streaming era and the social media era, people want it when they want it.
Exactly.
It's like the podcast versus radio. A podcast, people can get it when they want it. They can listen to this show the day it comes out, the week after it comes out, a month after it comes out. They can listen to it whenever they want to, however they want to. They can watch it on their TV through the smart TV with the app, so they can listen to their phone, tablets, on cars. They can get it when they want it, how they want it. And I think that's one of the things that technology is doing. That's a disruptor, I would like to say. And it gives a lot of people voices. And I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But but is there anything we're going to get ready to wrap this up? Is there anything that you want to leave out on, or anything you would like to say?
Well, one thing that I like to do is I like to give people resources and tools, so you don't just get inspired, but then don't really know where to turn. So if you're out there listening and you want more information about how to develop a plan for yourself, you can go to my website, Linell King. There's no O in Linell. It's Linell. It's LinellKingMD.com. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, there is a thing that is called the 60-second plan. And it's the plan that I put together to help you do exactly what I described with the timing of your eating and how to pick great foods without having to read a recipe book or a diet book or whatever. That's why I call it the 60-second plan. It literally should take you 2 minutes to really, put this whole thing together. A minute, and you have your meal plan for the whole week. So I recommend going to that. Also, going to I just put up for the new year a new Facebook group. It's called Mastering Vitality with Dr. King. Mastering Vitality with Dr. King. It's a Facebook group. It's free to whoever wants to come on board. I am on there every single day giving tips, and if you want to connect with me, come on and I don't have an administrator, some VA from overseas, writing stuff for me. It is me. So if you want to connect with me personally, I read every post. I respond to posts. So come on, Mastering Vitality with Dr. King, if you want to connect with me. And we can get you to where you need to go.
All right. And also, don't forget about his book, Mastering Vitality, on I know it's on Amazon. I don't know all the other places. And
Amazon.com. If you want
Amazon.
a free copy, if there's anybody that wants a free copy, digital copy of my book, you can go to masteringvitalitybook.com. That's masteringvitalitybook.com. You put your name and email and get a free digital copy of the book, or you can go and get a softcover, copy of the book on Amazon. Just type in Mastering Vitality, it'll pop up. And if you do buy the book, make sure, please, 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 to leave a review.
Okay. And also, if you want a free paperback copy, you email me at info@royalfinancials.com. Type in the keyword would be Linell King. If you email me at, don't tweet, don't comment on YouTube or Facebook or whatever the case have you find this episode, but you email me at info@royalfinancials.com with the keyword Linell King. I'm going to I'm going to ask you what your mail address is, and I will have one sent out to your house.
Oh, wow.
So
that's awesome.
That's another way. We always like to give here at the Investor Show. We always want to, we're in the educational realm and giving people something, stuff like that. I know a lot of people just create stuff, like you said, for advertising dollars and just whatever the case may be. But we do, the education and bringing things to people. And you never know what type of treats you can get here on the Investor Show. So
beautiful. Love it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Anything else, Dr. King?
That is about it, man. I always love chatting with you on the show. I really, really love what you're doing for the world, what you're putting out into the world. Is so valuable, and you're such a genuine person that you don't have to worry about the information that you're delivering. And so that's why I like associating myself with you, because you're really down to earth, and you're all about the truth. You're all about serving and giving. So just keep it up, man. I love you for what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. I almost shed a tear there, Dr. King. But as always, guys, this is the Investor Show. My name is Prince Dykes. Until the next episode, video, podcast, or wherever you may find me, peace, be safe, and I'm out.